We're making the two most popular Disney vacation destinations go head-to-head to see which Disney theme park has the best rides of the bunch. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Consider this video a love letter for Disney rides with a little friendly competition attached. Today we're going to see which locations have the best Disney rides overall, Tokyo or Orlando. Get ready, because we're putting duplicate and similar Disney World and Tokyo Disney rides head to head for an ultimate showdown to see which Disney park property deserves the title of Ride Champion. Remember, this is all just for fun. We love all the rides across all these different parks, but this is a good way to showcase just how different and how similar domestic and international park attractions can really be, and how those differences could make or break which theme parks you decide to visit in the future. Before we get started, if you're looking for even more key differences between Tokyo Disney and Disney World, we got a full free PDF that lists them off for you that we'd love to send your way. So go ahead and pick that up right now by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or by clicking on the link in the description for disneyfoodblog.com/Tokyo Disney. Just wanted to kick off this little competition by saying Tokyo Disney and Disney World might have a lot of similar and duplicate rides between them, but they are by no means the same thing. For starters, Tokyo Disneyland has a lot of things that align more with Disneyland out in Anaheim, California. You know, the classic stuff. This means you can still ride the Mark Twain riverboat, visit Tom Sawyer Island, run around Toontown, get totally traumatized by Snow White's Enchanted Adventure. Nostalgia at its finest. But then it's also got one of the best dark rides known to humankind, Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. And if you do not cry during this ride, you must be made of stone because the experience is incredible. This dark ride takes place inside Beast Castle, where you'll board a giant teacup that'll transport you into the story of Belle and the Beast. I love this ride. The animatronics are top tier, the musical numbers are bubbly and cheery and really cool to hear in another language, and the magical transformation that happens at the very end. I don't want to give everything away, but I'm still baffled at how Imagineers pulled the whole thing off. Meanwhile, Tokyo Disney Sea is a completely unique park cut from a whole different cloth than all the other Disney parks out there, featuring attractions that Disney World can only dream of. Fortress Exploration, for example, that's an interactive walkthrough attraction inside the Mediterranean harbor area that takes you through a medieval castle and inside these epically expansive rooms with immersive elements. You can also board a Venetian gondola that'll take you around the Palazzo canals to make you feel like you've been transported from Japan to Italy. Aquatopia is a silly one to probably shout out, but I really do love it a whole lot. It's just a trackless boat ride, kind of like a mousetrap coaster in the water, but if you know me, you know I'm also rooting for underappreciated rides in a park because they always seem to be the hidden gems in my eyes. And then, of course, there's the new Fantasy Springs area, which will come up multiple times in today's competition, but for now, I'm going to specifically call out the entire Tangled area here, since all the Tangled you're going to find at Disney World, aside from a few show compilations, are the bathrooms in Magic Kingdom. Maybe someday Pansy and Flynn will get their own ride over in the States, but for now, it's just a dream. I could keep going, but we do have an entire video about the 50 amazing things in Tokyo Disney that go even beyond the rides and attractions if you want to check that out after today's competition. But hey, Disney World's not exactly a carbon copy type of Disney property either. Disney World has 4 theme parks, and amongst those theme parks, you're going to find one-of-a-kind rides and attractions. Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, Avatar-themed ride that's a mixture of 3D effects and scents and vibrations and movements that are triggered by your motorcycle-style seat, making you feel really like you're on the back of your own Banshee. Spaceship Earth and Epcot, that classic, iconic, slow-going Omnimover ride that showcases the evolution of communication through the use of intricate sets and dozens upon dozens of animatronics. One of my absolute favorites. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, also in Epcot. This is a first-of-its-kind coaster with Omnimover vehicles that have the ability to spin 360 degrees, a backwards launch sequence, and a randomized 80s soundtrack that is chef's kiss. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom gives you the chance to board a gently swaying mine car that'll eventually lead you into the Seven Dwarfs Diamond Mine. And Slinky Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios is another family-friendly coaster that takes you above Toy Story Land that nobody else in the world has. Now, People Mover. Bless you, my beloved People Mover. That easygoing Omnimover above Magic Kingdom's Tomorrowland that I love so much, I am now fully committed to being the president of the unofficial People Mover fan club, and I'm proud to hold the title until the end of time. Again, I could keep going. I got several videos out about how awesome and unique Disney World is too, but that just means this competition is going to be all the more interesting to watch unfold. All right, let the games begin. Okay, let's begin by comparing Disney rides that have similar ride models or themes, but completely different executions. The Baymax Happy Ride versus Alien Swirling Saucers. Basically the same, yet completely different. Baymax Happy Ride in Tokyo Disneyland and Alien Swirling Saucers in Hollywood Studios are both whip-style spinning rides. When you ride Alien Swirling Saucers, you might get on and say, wee, and then get off and thinking, that was fun. But when you ride Baymax Happy Ride, it is a whole ordeal. The locals have created their own little Baymax dance to go along with this ride, and I've never witnessed something more wholesome in my entire life. So just for the good spirit and camaraderie alone, the first point of this video is gonna go to Baymax Happy Ride. Next is Splash Mountain versus Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Yep, Tokyo Disney is the keeper of the last remaining Splash Mountain ride. Both Splash Mountain and Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Magic Kingdom have the same major log flume drop and layout. It's just that our version is now rethemed to Princess and the Frog and has really awesome state-of-the-art animatronics throughout the ride and that updated storyline. Now, I like both versions of this ride. I also like that Splash Mountain in Tokyo Disneyland has a special Get Soaked Max version that happens in the summer, where all the water effects are amped up and more are switched on for additional soakage. I think overall, Splash Mountain has more going on in the actual ride and the actual storyline, and there's less sort of dead space that you're just sort of floating in your log through. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure is an absolutely gorgeous ride, and that last section, right where you float through the party scene, beautiful. So this one is going to be a tie, but I promise there's only a few ties in today's video. This is the first one. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh versus Pooh's Honey Hunt. Now this one is a clear winner. Let's be really real here. I love Magic Kingdom's Winnie the Pooh ride, but it so doesn't hold a candle to Pooh's Honey Hunt over in Tokyo Disneyland. Pooh's Honey Hunt is a trackless dark ride where you're going to board a honey pot and join Pooh on an epic yet whimsical adventure to find some honey of his own. It's a ride filled with lifelike animatronics, impressive special effects. Of course, that trackless element is truly innovative, and there's lots and lots of heart. A common theme amongst the Tokyo Disney dark ride scene, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gadget's Go Coaster versus Barnstormer. So the similarities between Gadget's Go Coaster in Tokyo Disneyland and Barnstormer in Magic Kingdom, small but mighty. Both are great starter coasters for first-time thrill riders, but I think I'm gonna have to give the win to Tokyo again just because Gadget's Coaster is a smidge bit longer and in general feels a little more exciting. Frozen Ever After versus Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey. This just doesn't seem fair. Poor Frozen Ever After doesn't stand a chance, even with the updated animatronic technology that Disney's promised us for this Epcot dark ride. The moment you step foot into Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey in Tokyo Disney Sea, you're stepping foot into the best Frozen ride ever, if not the best ride ever made. Frozen Journey tells the complete story of Anna and Elsa, from the sisters' childhood memories to the moment Anna and Hans profess their shallow feelings toward one another, to the trek up the North Mountain to see Elsa let it go. For real, you get all of that. No shortcuts around the story here, which is why this is actually a pretty long ride, clocking in at about 6.5 minutes. But the most impressive part of this entire ride is the Imagineering and the animatronics. Every single animatronic is fluid and realistic. They've got some incredible projection Imagineering going on, not with the animatronics, but with how they actually have the animatronics transition from one state to another. Very, very cool. Okay, Journey to the Center of the Earth versus Expedition Everest. This is probably the toughest matchup on this whole list, so pay attention. Journey to the Center of the Earth in Tokyo Disney Sea loads you up in a steampunk subterranean vehicle to go check out this otherworldly lava monster world that Captain Nemo has recently unearthed. Now, my scriptwriter Bria originally had Journey to the Center of the Earth going up against Test Track and Epcot, since both of these attractions are slot car-style rides where your vehicle is led down a track with a central slot guide. But regardless of them having similar tracks, it just flat out felt like I was comparing apples and oranges. These rides are completely different in feel, so I thought, let's compare Journey up against Expedition Everest and Animal Kingdom instead. Those are both high-speed rides where you go up against a majorly misunderstood beast at the end, right? Right. So, I have a hard time choosing a winner between these two.
I mean, Expedition Everest has backwards track, a thrilling ascent up into the mountains with breathtaking looks over Animal Kingdom Park. The ride itself is just gorgeous, one of the most intricate queue lines, and a massive Yeti that might not be an animatronic anymore, but is still impressive nonetheless. But Journey goes the opposite direction, taking you underground and into an impressive, albeit very confusing world of bioluminescence crystals and caves, funny little creatures, and the big old lava monster, Mama herself. Look, we're just gonna call this one a draw and be done with it because they are both absolutely incredible rides, and you should ride them both and then let me know in the comments which one wins for you.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea versus Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. Okay, so the reason why we are comparing these two is because Under the Sea replaced our now defunct 20,000 Leagues attraction. So, Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid in Magic Kingdom. It's an Omnimover dark ride that retells the entire Little Mermaid film through audio animatronics, full show scenes of dancing fish, well-loved songs straight from the popular animated movie, and more. Now, sure, it might be showing its age nowadays, but this ride still proves to be charming and memorable and creative.
So, was it a good swap? Well, I guess it all depends on your POV and how passionate you might be taking a semi-leisurely ride in one of Captain Nemo's submarines to help him search for the underwater city of Atlantis. I think I'm gonna give the win to 20,000 Leagues for now. The ride vehicles can be kind of claustrophobic, but in like a good way. And it's a story that happens to you instead of you being mainly an observer, and I like that a whole lot. Not to mention you have those adorable mermen who help you out during the ride. They don't have to do that, that's great. And that's really nice. So, Tokyo 5, Disney World 0 on this one.
Okay, Disney World, now's your chance to catch up. There are lots of duplicate rides across these parks, so let's see which ones are executed the best. Starting with Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean can be found in Tokyo Disneyland and Magic Kingdom. And just a quick word, you can find versions of these rides in lots of other Disney parks as well, but right now we're just doing Tokyo Disney versus Disney World. Okay, all right, we've established that. Now, both of these versions are iconic with the same like yo-ho mentality and jangling prison keys and cute dogs, and the version of Pirates in Tokyo aligns a little more with the version we know and love in Disneyland out in Anaheim, which is a longer and clearer storyline to follow. So we're going to give the win to Tokyo while also appreciating the fact that the new Beacon Barrel Lounge exists next to Magic Kingdom's version, which expands the story of pirates for the price of a cocktail.
The Jungle Cruise rides in Tokyo Disneyland and Magic Kingdom are nearly identical, but the key difference happens when you enter in the temple. Tokyo Disneyland's version, called Wildlife Expeditions, uses enhanced projection mapping to add color and movement and mysticism to this section of the ride. But the temple section in Magic Kingdom's version is eerie and just sort of creepy in the best way. We're gonna give the win to Magic Kingdom's version because that temple scene keeps it in its purest classic attraction form, which we love. Not to mention, Jungle Cruise in Magic Kingdom transforms into Jingle Cruise around the holidays, making for a fun, festive, and unique overlay that we always look forward to seeing.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is next. I'm going to leave the Big Thunder Mountain face-off inconclusive for now since we don't know how we're going to feel about Magic Kingdom's refreshed version of the ride just yet, but I can confirm that we'll let you know all about it starting from day one of its reopening.
When Big Thunder Mountain in Magic Kingdom does reopen though, I believe it's going to be a force to be reckoned with. The new version will have a revamped plot, the return of the Rainbow Caverns, smoother track, epic lighting effects, and an exterior touch-up of the ride to help it fit into the new Piston Peak Cars expansion, which is also happening over at Magic Kingdom at the moment.
How about the tea parties? Again, both of these rides are very similar. Alice's Tea Party is out in Tokyo Disneyland while Mad Hatter's is in Magic Kingdom. I feel like the overall upkeep on the one in Tokyo Disneyland tends to make it a bit more polished and brighter. And moving on to the railroads, this is going to be more of a hot topic item than you might realize. In Japan, there's a law that states that any transportation services using more than one stop along their circuit must charge for their services, and that includes in Disneyland, which is why the Tokyo Disneyland train makes one full loop around the entire park instead of making multiple stops in the different lands like it does in Disney World and Disneyland. Now, usually Magic Kingdom would be able to brag about having featuring 3 different stations around the park. But now that Tom Sawyer Island, the Rivers of America, and the Liberty Square Riverboat are closed to make way for the new Cars-themed Piston Peak area, the Walt Disney World Railroad has had to change up the way it operates to keep it from closing down altogether. The railroad now only has 2 stops, Fantasyland and Main Street USA, meaning it skips over the old Frontierland stop altogether. And because of this, the railroad now doesn't make a full loop around the park. Instead, it'll go forward and backward, which is why half the seats are now turned to face the opposite direction as well. Disney has deemed this version of the train as its shuttle mode, which will be the mode it stays in for the foreseeable future. That being said, it continues to be a great way to cross over from Main Street to Fantasyland while still getting a great aerial view across that side of the park. And when it's back up to normal again, it'll be able to make that full loop plus the multiple stops, so we'll give this win to Disney World. It's cute, it's classic, it's got a song that gets stuck in your head. It's a Small World at Tokyo Disneyland and Magic Kingdom are both adorable versions. But when it comes to the one in Tokyo, the outside facade is breathtaking. Those Mary Blair colors are vibrant, and you've got Disney and Pixar dolls featured throughout the different ride scenes. And depending on when you visit, you might even be able to ride the limited time It's a Small World featuring Groot. Okay, I'm not going to pick a winner for this one. Both carousels in Tokyo Disneyland and Magic Kingdom are pretty and they spin around and they provide a great simple option when you're looking for a shorter ride line. That said, there are 2 carousels technically in Tokyo because you've got the one over in Disney Sea as well, over in Arabian Coast. But since we are just comparing the Castle Carousel and the Prince Charming Regal Carousel, then we're going to give it a tie. Next up, Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Love both versions of Dumbo the Flying Elephant dearly because if I'm going to pick an aerial carousel to prioritize, of course I'm going to choose the cute flying elephant option. That being said, Magic Kingdom's version of Dumbo has the addition of the indoor playground inside the queue, and Tokyo Disneyland's version is lacking in that area. All right, Peter Pan's Flight. This one is tricky. Peter Pan's Flight in Tokyo Disneyland seems to be better maintained. However, the extended queue in Magic Kingdom's version really helps add more to the story and the experience here, giving you the chance to explore an interactive nursery and follow Tinkerbell around as she flitters and flutters around the room. But instead of calling this one a tie, I'm going to give bonus points to Tokyo Disney for its second Peter Pan attraction, Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure, which just opened over in Fantasy Springs. Is this fair? Probably not, but this ride is very cool and deserves some sort of shout out in this video. Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure is over there in Disney Sea, but this Peter Pan Dark Ride is trackless and uses a mix of 3D animation and practical sets to make you feel like you're flying across this magical land where you never ever have to grow up. It's really Peter Pan's Flight taking to a whole other level. Much like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, I'm going to call this Showdown inconclusive. Tokyo Disneyland usually has Space Mountain as part of its ride list like Magic Kingdom does, but the Tokyo version is currently closed for a series of major refurbishments, and it's not slated to open until 2027, and it looks very cool. But when it does reopen, it'll have brand new special effects and an enhanced storyline, and knowing how much love and care the Oriental Land Company, the tourism company that owns and operates Tokyo Disney, puts into their rides, I am sure this renovation is going to be absolutely exquisite. So, gonna withhold judgment on this one.
Hey friends, Bria here. AJ handed me this portion of the script to record because she knew I had a clear winner in mind, and she's not wrong. Well, the Enchanted Tiki Room isn't a ride, it is an iconic attraction featured in both Tokyo Disneyland and Magic Kingdom. But the version in Tokyo Disneyland features Stitch, and that's why I'm giving it the win today. I know, I sound like one of those Disney adults, but hear me out. Tokyo Disneyland's Enchanted Tiki Room is actually called the Enchanted Tiki Room Stitch Presents Aloha Ikemoya Mai, and it's so cute! And it works because Stitch is a tropical alien dude and he's put in a tropical bird, plant, enchanted setting. Like, it doesn't feel like a forced puzzle piece. He's just mixed in naturally with all the birds singing words and the flowers crooning, complete with his Hawaiian shirt and little ukulele. It feels right, it's fun, it's gonna appeal to a wider generation of viewers. I love it. It's getting the win. I can't help it.
Now, since we're already bending the rules a little bit by including the Tiki Room, why not compare the Country Bears shows too? Country Bears Jamboree in Tokyo Disneyland is also true to Walt's original vision, meaning it's more like the version we had before Country Bears Musical Jamboree became a thing in Disney World. Just be prepared for the song lyrics to be in English, but everything else to be in Japanese. Country Bears Jamboree also receives a holiday overlay around each Christmas season called Jingle Bell Jamboree, so if you come to see this show towards the end of the year, you're going to see the Very Merry Berry crew all dressed up in their cutest winter attire and singing festive tunes to get you in the holly jolly spirit. With that being said, I do really like the new Country Bears Musical Jamboree show in Magic Kingdom. I really do. The Country Bears Musical Jamboree is a fresh take on that classic Disney animatronic show, featuring a mix of Country Bear original tunes and Disney songs in new styles like country and rockabilly and bluegrass.
But come on, the fact that the OJ version exists somewhere out there makes my heart happy, so I'm still gonna give the win to Tokyo.
All right, sometimes these face-offs feel like picking a favorite child. Both the Haunted Mansion in Tokyo Disneyland and in Magic Kingdom are great versions of this classic dark ride. And Tokyo Disneyland's version receives the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay that California also receives around the holiday season. But I don't know, Magic Kingdom's version has some additional special effects and animatronics and scenes that further enhance the experience, including the Hatbox Ghost. So while I do love Tokyo's seasonal overlay, I'm also pretty peachy about having those permanent eerie additions in the Magic Kingdom version too. Moving on to Star Tours, the on-ride experiences for the Star Tours in Tokyo Disneyland versus Hollywood Studios are pretty much the same, and the queues have a lot of the same elements too, but there are sections inside the Tokyo Disneyland queue that give us more sets, more droids, and more overall immersion.
Now, I will say a new permit was recently filed for the Star Tours and Hollywood Studios to install set elements, which suggests something physical's coming to the ride or its queue or potentially the gift shop. But since we don't know any key details beyond that or even when these changes might happen, we'll still give that win to Tokyo.
Okay, let's get into this one. Both Tokyo Disney Sea and Epcot have their own versions of Soarin'. Epcot has Soarin' Around the World, and Tokyo Disney Sea has Soaring Fantastic Flight. While the main flying theater experience is basically the same, aside from the ending, which will have you flying over the park you're currently in, the overall theming of these two attractions is where the rides truly differ. Soarin' Around the World's theming is blue. Okay, not just blue. It kind of feels like just blue when you're walking around the queue, but really the purpose is that Patrick Warburton is hyping you up before you take a flight on the hang glider. Meanwhile, the Tokyo Disney Sea version is themed around the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, or the SEA. Now, it'd probably take the rest of the video to describe all the behind-the-scenes lore of SEA, longer than that. But in short, this is a fictional organization that can be linked to attractions throughout the Disney resorts worldwide. So you'll see references to SEA over in the States, too, at attractions like Jungle Cruise and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So Patrick Warburton loses this one. The SEA theming over at Tokyo Disney Sea definitely beats out Epcot's super basic queue lines. Tower of Terror in Tokyo Disney Sea has a lot of unique, ornate, and slightly risque theming that still boggles my mind a little bit. And some may prefer that theming over the OG Tower of Terror that exists in Hollywood Studios. However, the version of Tower of Terror inside Hollywood Studios isn't just a drop tower. It's also a dark ride, one where the service elevator you're sitting in can actually leave the elevator shaft and go across a slow-moving track. The Tower of Terror in Disney World is a lot more of a thrill ride. The one in Tokyo Disney Sea is fun, but it's a lot less of that feeling where your stomach is basically jumping up into your throat. You know that feeling, right? So it's a little more tame, I guess I would say. So what we're comparing here is ride quality versus images of Joe Rohde as Harrison Hightower throughout the gift shop. I'm going to go with the high quality ride, I think, on this one, so I'm going to give it to Disney World. So I think what I'm mainly pulling from with the Toy Story Mania head-to-head is just how well this ride fits into each of its respective park sections. While the Toyville Trolley Park at Tokyo Disney Sea feels like a bit of a stretch, why is this here? Where did this come from? Toy Story Mania fits like a glove in the middle of Toy Story Land. But other than that, these two rides are pretty much the same except for, them speaking Japanese. and the fact that you have to enter through a giant mouth to get into the Toy Story Mania in Japan. All interesting elements, still gonna give it to Disney World. Magic carpets. Okay, the color, the exterior setting, the non-squeaking spins. I'd much prefer to wait in line for Jasmine's flying carpets in Tokyo Disneyland versus the magic carpets of Aladdin in Magic Kingdom. If for nothing else, its proximity to Chandu the tiger. So Tokyo wins that as well. All right, looks like our overwhelming winner is Tokyo Disney today, but let me sum up what we can really take away from this entire video. Disney World is definitely the place to go for longer Disney visits that don't require you to venture outside of the Disney bubble if you don't want to. Here, you're gonna find a greater quantity of rides overall, thanks to the 4 different parks that they're all spread out across, and that means it might be easier for your group to find multiple attractions that multiple different people in your party are gonna enjoy. However, there's a reason why the Oriental Land Company has earned its esteemed reputation. The rides they work on are phenomenal and immersive, and they really bring those Disney stories and characters to life through the sets and animatronics and music. Now, don't forget, they're using Disney Imagineers over there. They just tend to have a lot more money that they're investing in these rides. That's why they're better. Not saying that Disney World doesn't do some incredible work. We've got some really stellar rides on the home front too, but Tokyo tends to go that extra mile by putting a lot of effort into maintaining and preserving those attractions on a regular basis to make sure guests receive a similar ride experience, no matter if you visit after a ride first launches or after it's been around for decades. So if you're still wanting to learn more about all things Tokyo Disney, we've got more for you to check out next, like 50 amazing things you never knew were in Tokyo Disney, and what I wish I'd known before going to Tokyo Disney. There's some very interesting toilet content in there. And don't forget to download our free Tokyo Disney PDF over at disneyfoodblog.com/Tokyo Disney. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.